Hi, friends. I am Jane from J.E. Martin Books, and today I am at the Tini Martini Bar in St. Augustine, Florida, to talk to author J.A. Johnson about what she reads, what she writes, and what shapes the stories she tells. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I am so glad to finally get to do this with you.
Yes.
When I asked you about setting up this interview, I asked you to pick a place you love, and here we are. So I want to start there. What does this place say about you?
Probably says that I'm a lush or an alcoholic. But really, I like coming here because I love the people watching. I love the view.
It's a
love
beautiful view.
And the martinis are fantastic.
Yes, I can also attest to that. So what version of yourself would you say shows up here?
Probably my more fun-loving side, more myself and more relaxed and not really as rigid as I need to be sometimes.
What makes you feel like, oh, this is my kind of place?
I think the fact that this is kind of like my calm to the storm, it makes me calm down, makes me think better. If I could find a place that my brain kind of functions better instead of just overanalyzing everything.
So is this a place where your creative brain shows up, or is it like this is like a resting place for your brain?
Starts out as resting, but after a few martinis, it turns into the other way.
You kind of mentioned there like places that might help your brain sort of calm down. What kind of setting tends to bring that out for you, like brings out your best thinking?
Weirdly enough, pretty busy places. I do my best writing when I'm at home, like just on my couch with the dogs, but I have to have noise on in the background. So whether it's music or a TV show, and usually it's a show I've seen like 100,000 times, Downton Abbey or Once Upon a Time or Supernatural, one of those shows. Once I put those shows on, I don't have to pay attention, but I have that background noise where there's stuff going on and I need constant chaos. I can't do silence.
Having that ambiance really helps to get your brain flowing.
Yeah.
So I want to back up just a little bit from the place that we are. So we've gotten to know you a little bit in terms of the places that you like to be and the way that you think best. Let's talk a little bit about like what your personality is as like a reader. So particularly like who were you as a reader before you were a writer? Because I think most of us started out maybe that way. I don't think we went to writing first.
I was not a very good reader. I think it was more from kind of trauma of being told growing up from teachers and stuff that I'm a terrible reader. I'm too slow. I couldn't keep up with everyone just because I wasn't as fast as everyone. And I am dyslexic. So it takes a little while for me to get through things, longer than most people do. So that was harder for me. And my teachers didn't really care. So it was a real push for me to even be interested in reading. So I found a few books, like there was one that was a biography book called From Baghdad with Love, and it was about a dog. And so read that one. That one got me more into reading again. Then I got into the Hunger Games and then got into a few others. But it was, before I started writing, it was very rare that I could find a book that I would actually be okay reading because of how badly I was taunted by my teachers and told that I can't do this and I can't read and I can't write and everything.
Oh, that is so hard to hear. I'm so sorry you went through that. I feel like we kind of have come through a lot of generations of different types of accessibility around that. Like now you can have the dyslexic font on Kindle that you can use. And I think that's so huge for people.
And that's what I use. So,
do you? Yeah, that's so huge for people who, who otherwise, like as long as they have that accommodation, are good to go. So I had no idea. That's really cool. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. So I know you kind of talked there, Hunger Games. Like, were there any other books that kind of got under your skin really early on?
I don't really have any specific books. Your books I really loved. Those ones got me really good. And those ones got me into the romance genre. So before that, I wasn't really into the romance genre and I hadn't really started reading it, but yours really got me into it and also got me into the paranormal genre too. So that yours helped me a lot get into the types of books that I start reading now.
Great.
And I really kind of stick towards like romance, paranormal romance, and fantasy romance.
So it sounds like kind of that element, now that you have found it, that sort of is staying consistent over time, kind of where you tend to read.
I've tried reading other things that just don't click with me as much and don't like really sit there with me where I can actually focus on it.
I think there's so much too about romance, paranormal romance, fantasy romance. We have all of the tropes that we get to fall back on. And so there's something just so comforting, right?
There is.
About reading those books.
That's a big part of it is I feel comforted. I feel better about I like that type of stuff. it's nice. It helps me through it.
Because I didn't know your journey as a reader. It's so awesome to hear that you're able to not just read, but like to find things that you enjoy reading and to find comfort in reading after coming out of that. That's huge. So I'm so glad to hear that. So right now, I think we kind of covered that's sort of what you're reading for pleasure more. You're focusing on the things that maybe have a romance element or like kind of a paranormal or a fantasy element. At what point did you go, okay, writing has to be a part of my life? Because I know when we met, we met through writing Twitter. Yeah. Before it was X even, like writing Twitter.
This was like over 10 years ago.
So when did that happen?
That just kind of happened. I started writing one day and it just kind of kept going and going. And my now ex-sister-in-law, she was like, you should turn things into a book. And so I started working on it. And the current one coming out, that one I've been working on since then.
I know this one is coming out on Friday, so that'll be the 27th, which also
is
your birthday.
That's my birthday gift to myself.
So the other ones, what is the progression for those?
3 months later for book 2, and then another 3 months for book 3.
Is it just 3 for this?
Oh, no.
Okay, girl, I hear you.
But those 3, like, they had to come out back to back, which is why it took so long, because I had to make sure they were all ready to go before I released the first one, because the first 2 books do end on cliffhangers. They have to be back to back.
You can't wait like 5 years or 6 years. I had seen on your website that you were doing, 3 in succession, but I didn't know how quickly they were coming out.
7 books.
I feel like I have faced this, so I'd be interested to know your take on it. But when you know that you're putting that kind of thing out, you just have to keep seeking out those dopamine hits of like, I'm going, because once you drop it, it's going to be boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
But it's so long to get to the boom, boom, boom.
Yes. It's a lot of like, I have to do this. I have to do that.
Yeah. What would you say, like, keeps bringing you back to that page? Because it sounds like kind of once you got started, like you're just in it at that point.
It's an escape for me. When I first started writing, I was not in a good place in my marriage. And this was my first marriage and things were not good with us. And it was my way to escape and find basically a relationship that I wish I could have, but I don't have. And that's kind of how that started. But now I just use it as like an escape when I'm overstimulated or have too much going on. I can block out the rest of the world.
Is there that comfort level of like everything in that world you've built is very familiar? And so it's comfortable to sink into for you?
The one for my second book, that's my comfort world. If I get stressed out, I'm like, I'm just going to switch back to this world and forget everything else around me for a little bit.
I have to ask, and this definitely is it's not on my page, but because I have this experience and I always like to know if other people do you like when you're going to sleep at night, are you like writing in your head or do you have to shut it off?
You write. I write in my head.
Me too. Yeah.
My phone has to be next to my bed so I can start pull up Scrivener on my phone and just start typing in. I'll get woken up in my mind at 3 a.m. and
are there any kinds of stories that just feel really impossible for you to resist? Like if it's got these elements, I have to have it?
Stories about soulmates. I am so drawn and sucked into those ones. And I think a lot of it has to do with like a quote from a TV show that I watched called The Good Place. At the end, Michael, the demon, he's saying, soulmates aren't found, they're made. I like that thought.
I feel very much the same way. That's one of my, like, if I see that, I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like, okay, I'm going to read it. I go, darn, I have to read a soulmate story.
I kind of want to move into a little bit more about your process. And in your bio, you mentioned the connection between your books and your music playlists. And we have bonded over this song. Like you have introduced me to several people who have definitely ended up in my own book playlist. So it seems like music is a part of your process, which I know we've talked a little bit about. But for anybody watching, what role does music play in your writing process?
So it plays a little bit of like story building and scene building, character building, mood setting. It fits all of that in there. I have one playlist that's called Focus and Relax, and that helps me focus and relax when I'm like just editing, not adding new scenes. But when I'm adding new scenes, I need a certain other playlist for that. And certain songs go to certain scenes, certain characters, things like that. I have it all set out, sprawled out between everyone.
You definitely have led into some of the things I have questions about here, because I was going to ask, like, is it mood setting? Is it scene setting? Is it character? It's all of it. It's all of it. Are those playlists like separate? Like, okay, this book has a playlist. This character has a playlist even? Is it that granular? Or?
Each book has its own playlist, and then some characters have their own playlist.
Okay.
Like the antagonist in this new book that's coming out, he has his own playlist. And that one it's when I'm like in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Or I want to be in a badass mood type of thing.
Yeah.
That's my playlist for it. But then like Kelly, one of the main characters, he has his own playlist because the third book is about him, but each book does have their own set playlist and they all have their own vibe and everything to it.
Are any of your characters like some of these who have their own playlist in our real life? In their lives, is music also a part of their life?
The only ones that really have music in their lives are from the pop stars in the backyard. You're going to laugh at when you hear some of this.
What do you think that music unlocks for you that if you were working in silence? Like obviously we have the focus music, but beyond that, I think a lot of authors use music for other purposes, not just to fill the silence, right?
So for me, the silence like makes my brain go insane and I can't handle it. I have to put on music, but I put on certain playlists because they help motivate me to do certain things or they help progress a scene. There's one song in particular that if I had a soundtrack to it, this song is going in there no matter what. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This goes to this very specific scene.
We're gonna need a lot of music budget.
And it is not going to be a cheap song, I guarantee you.
Are there songs that instantly transports you into your book?
Yeah, the one I was talking about. And then there's a few others that like they connect automatically to me for these characters, for these scenes, things like that.
It's not just in your working process, but like in real life, you're encountering the song and like, boom, you're there. You're in the scene.
I have pulled over my car because a scene has caused me to, or a song has caused me to write a scene. And I've had to pull over and just write everything down or just speech text it in type of thing just to get it down.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to lose it.
So I want to clarify here. Is that like a song that maybe wasn't already on a playlist, but it comes on and you're just like, it is evoking for me a thing that, oh my gosh, really?
Or
I
it's
love
a
that.
song that's not on that specific playlist. It's on a different playlist. And I'm like, oh my God, I just thought of this scene and I have to.
Like it just clicked.
It just clicked and I have to move over.
Oh, that's
and
so
so that's
cool.
why like a lot of songs you'll see in multiple playlists because it will have caused a scene to happen in my head listening to that song.
I have to rack my brain and see if that has happened to me. I can't remember.
It probably has and you probably forgot.
I've like totally forgotten at this point. I think this will be a little bit different maybe because you do have your two books that we're talking about specifically today are so different.
So different.
Are the playlists also so different as a result?
You'll see that Pop Stars in the Backyard is very poppy, lots of love songs in there, but then there are some that are kind of like heart-wrenching type of songs because there is a lot of trauma and stuff that goes on in that book. But then Gem of the Sea, there's a very big jazzy undertone. Like you'll hear a lot of postmodern jukebox in there, things that go with that time because it's set in the 1920s.
Which you love, right?
I love the 1920s. Whereas Pop Stars in the Backyard is a lot of the music in that playlist. This is the part you're going to laugh at, is by R5, which my daughter is obsessed with the lead singer of it. And that whole story was written for her.
That kind of segues us perfectly into Pop Stars. Well, let's talk a little bit about your books kind of overall. So you have Pop Stars in the Backyard already out. That one came out in February of last year.
Yeah.
And then Gem of the Sea, which is coming up next. That's Friday, the 27th.
Yep.
Do they feel like different sides of you, or is it sort of like as much as your daughter is a side of you? Like, is it more like that?
It's more like that because the Pop Stars in the Backyard was more focused for my daughter. I wrote it for her age group. And then Gem of the Sea is like, I've put my heart and soul into this one. That one's more me.
The connection there between the books then is you and sort of these different aspects of your life. And also how cool to be able to be like, oh, you don't like these books they're making you read in school, but I've got something just for you. Yeah, that's so cool. When you think about your work overall, are there any threads that kind of keep coming up again and again in your work? Because you've got these 3 in the works now, which I like so awesome. I'm excited about. But is there a thread between all of those, or even just like separately a thread between those 3?
Between those 3, I think it's more like just following like the fact of love, the romance and everything. And I want them to kind of pull at people's heartstrings. The first book is great. The second book is really rough for people to get through. I've heard this from all my beta readers. One of them said she chucked her Kindle across the room.
So maybe some reader angst as well.
There's some angst in it. I like to pull at people's heartstrings. That's what I want to do. But I want that happily ever after to show up there, even if it takes a while or takes a couple of books. I want that happily ever after to be there.
You know, we can be very excited about happily ever afters, but like in real life, it takes a while.
It takes a while. It takes a lot of work. And that is a big part of it. Is I want people to know that it isn't just, oh, I found you. It's everything's happy now. That's because that's not how it is.
Yeah.
That's not real life. That's not how things are. You do have hardships. You have things you have to go through. And if the person is right for you, they'll stick with you through all of it.
On a much more realistic level, when we're writing, it is great to be able to have those moments of sort of modeling. I mean, especially because you and I have connected on both having had some rough past relationships. I feel like it is great to be able to model real love. Maybe takes some extra time, but that person who is going to show up again and again and again, that's where the love story is, right?
I don't want people to think that it's easy, that it's something you can just blink and it's there and everything's fine, because it's not. And that's not how it is.
Do you feel like you're returning to sort of the same emotional territory between books, even if the setting or the overall theme is so totally different?
They're totally different because
I'm excited.
because Pop Stars in the Backyard, they were childhood friends, and then something happened and she hated him. And he's gone for a few years because he's a famous pop star off in La La Land, and then she loses her memory, and that's how they get together and how he can get his chance to win her over. Whereas in Gem of the Sea, they don't know each other. They first meet and it's like, why am I attracted to you? What's going on? It's completely different. Like, they're not allowed to be together. Whereas the other, they're allowed to be together, but she doesn't want to be together type of thing. And so it's
very
different.
What are your stories sort of, if there is an overarching thing, what do they tend to be like interested in, sort of like beneath the surface?
The hard work that goes into relationships.
Was that something that was really obvious to you when you set out to start writing? Like, so that it wasn't like immediately like, oh, I'm gonna tell everybody how it really is. Okay. So how did that kind of come up as a part of your work?
It just kind of happened. It wasn't like pre-planned or anything. I'm more of a pantser, not a plotter. Because when I try to plot, I just have the biggest writer block anytime I've ever tried to plot anything.
To be able to show up at the page consistently, knowing how you work is such a huge part of the journey. So it's great that you have figured that out. And it's cool to learn that has kind of like organically come through your work. We can have a situation where we go, okay, I know I want to cover this topic, but there's like an extra layer of magic when it kind of starts coming up on its own, because you're like, wait, oh, this is really important. It sort of grows itself. Do you think that, because you mentioned beta readers, have they been picking up on that as sort of a part of
I don't know. I've never asked them.
I would be interested.
I'd be interested to know. I don't know. I've never asked that.
I'll have to tell you as I read through the series. I have to tell you how it's coming through for me. Now I do want to dig deeper, and I want to start, since it's already out, start with Pop Stars in the Backyard. For listeners who haven't read it yet, what is it about? And we kind of have covered some of it, but like the elevator pitch.
So he's a famous pop star. He's 18. He's just finished high school, and he's going home to visit his family in the hometown for one last time before moving to LA permanently. And it's his last chance to make the girl he's been in love with his whole life fall in love with him. But she hates him because of something he did when they were kids. It was a huge thing that caused a lot of trauma for her, and now she hates him. She hates all the members of her band because they are all part of it. And so,
so it's a pretty big hill to climb.
It's a big hill to climb, but she had a head injury and he saved her life. Well, she doesn't remember. She remembers who she is. She remembers who he is. She remembers everything in her life except for why she's mad at him. So he's realizing this is my one chance. I got to take it. But the problem is she's having a lot of hallucinations, and they're scary. They're vivid. They really freak her out. But the only thing that makes them go away is him. She's kind of stuck being with him no matter what. Otherwise, she has these things basically attacking her. And so she has to touch him to be around him and have him there. And so
it's forced proximity through the nature of that condition. Trope wise, is that another one that you like tend to like, if even in your reading or writing?
That was just kind of how it went. So.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a very popular, well-loved trope. And I will tell you, from page one, I was just like, oh, I'm in it already. I am here. We have to go. So I'm very excited to finish that one.
I will let you know there are songs in it. Just skip past them if you don't want to read them. My mom, she read it and she's like, nope, I don't like the song.
Oh no. Who you would classify as the ideal reader?
And college age.
If you're getting into it and you're not a YA reader, it's not for you.
It's not for you. There isn't going to be any spice in it because it is for that age group.
What is the emotional core then of that story? Just that their ability to sort of bridge that gap?
I think it's more them trying to reconcile and bring together like what they actually feel for each other. Because you find out in like the first couple of chapters, she always loved him, even though she was mad at him. And so she has to get past that.
Yeah.
She has to get her memories back. She has to get through all this. And I think a lot of that is the emotionalness of what she's going through medically and what what he's having to go through with her and trying to avoid all the paparazzi and everything and try to keep her out of that limelight because one, she's 17, so he doesn't want her in that limelight. Yeah. And two, she's going through something that she doesn't want publicized to a bunch of people she doesn't know.
Andy and Riker, what made the two of them like the right characters to be at the center of that story?
I'm not really sure. It just kind of
and sometimes that just happens.
It just kind of happened. Like that was how the story started and just kind of went with it.
Isn't that fun though? Like you'll just kind of be going about your whole life and then all of a sudden these characters are there and they're like
just pop in your head.
Hello, it's story time.
It's here. Here we go.
They came to you and they had a story to tell.
Yeah.
And that's how it went. What kind of drew you to, because you said like the forced proximity is new to you, but there's like a lot here. There's kind of second chance, memory loss, sort of the paparazzi, so some celebrity pressure there. And I would even say kind of like some emotional suspense around the will they, won't they. Were those things that also grew organically out of the work? Just as
I think
they came?
all except for the second chance one. That one was what I was really trying for because that's kind of how mine and my husband's love story is. We dated back in high school and then reconnected like 13, 14 years later. So it was kind of something that I wanted to put into a story, a second chance.
It's real to you. It's important to you. What do you think readers sort of will like fall for first in this book?
100% Riker.
Okay.
My daughter is automatically drawn to him.
He's a compelling character right away.
He is,
for sure.
Yeah.
So
Josh is hilarious in it, but he's his own special story.
Is he going to have his own special story?
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see after the Aquaria Oceana series is done.
You got other things on your plate now.
I got a bigger series on my plate right now.
Was there anything about Pop Stars in the Backyard that was just like especially fun to write?
I think it was just like trying to write in her medical trauma. I've gone through a lot of medical traumas myself. And so writing into a medical trauma for someone was something interesting and exciting for me because like, oh, I've been through similar things, not this exact thing, but similar things. So I understand like some of what she's going through.
Was there anything as you were writing that kind of surprised you about writing it? Like something unexpected, either that came up like as one of the tropes or through the writing process itself?
Just the whole story itself, just how it unfolded.
Yeah.
It
totally
was
unexpected.
It was very unexpected because I'd already finished writing the first draft of Gem of the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
And so then this one just popped into my head and I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
So it just kind of popped into my head and started going from there.
The celebrity fantasy part is always fun, but is there anything you feel like it adds sort of emotionally?
I think adding the paparazzi and everything has really like made the pressure harder on the two of them.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to protect her from this aspect of his life. It's a huge aspect of his life.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to protect her from it, but he's also, having to keep up his image, trying to keep up this, but he honestly doesn't care too much about his image as long as she's okay and everything's fine with her and he's ready to throw it all away for her.
What do you want readers to understand or feel alongside Andy as a part of that story?
That even if you're having some traumas in your life, medical or mental or whatever it is, you can get through it with the right people there around you and the right support system. You can get through it. You just have to find that right support system. And sometimes it's not the support system you think it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's something completely different. Sometimes it's different people than you ever expected, but there is a support system out there for you and you will get through it. You just have to find the right people for that.
That's a really wonderful message. I love that. Was there like a scene or like any kind of relationship dynamic that sort of unlocked this book for you? Like I know it kind of all came to you at once, but was there anything specific?
There was one scene, they're having a concert in her backyard. That's why it's called Pop Stars in the Backyard, because they're in her backyard. They're having a concert. They're having this. And so it just kind of expanded from there, created the whole story.
So I think from there, I want to jump into the book that we're really here to talk about. Tell me about Gem of the Sea.
Aquaria, she is the youngest daughter of Poseidon and a princess and the only legitimate heir. And that is very important to add because she does have other siblings.
Okay.
But she's the only legitimate heir to the throne. There's an accord between pirates and Poseidon that every 5 years, Poseidon will send a mermaid of his choosing to marry a pirate captain, and that pirate captain has to retire. And this has been over hundreds of years. Like, this is the only time he's ever chosen his daughter for his own child for this. And so it's very heartbreaking for her. She wants nothing to do with this. She wants to be home. So she's sent to live with another pirate and his family. She doesn't know them. They're humans, and
Yeah.
she's not human. She's a mermaid. And so she has to learn to walk on land for the first time. She has to learn how to breathe and talk
Yeah.
normally and everything, just how to function as a human. She has to learn what clothes are. She's mad about clothes, especially
Okay.
shoes. Like, she's really mad about shoes.
Oh, I'm mad about shoes too,
And
honestly.
I get that part from Tangled, because that's one of my daughter's favorite movies. Any chance she gets, she will take her shoes off and take her bra off, of course. But she quickly falls in love with the pirate's son, and he falls for her just as quickly. They're not allowed to be together, not just because she's in this arranged marriage, but because, like, his father is like, no, I'm not allowing this. So he doesn't allow them to even be alone together. So they have to start sneaking around. He starts teaching her sword fighting because he knows she has to marry a very powerful pirate captain that is going to be ruthless, and he doesn't believe that she will be safe. And so he starts teaching her to fight and how to protect herself. And that's when they start, like, really falling for each other even more. They get these feelings for one another. It's lots of close proximity together because they're forced to with the sword fighting and stuff, but it's more like, if they want this is what they want to do. They want to be together. They want to be alone, but they're not allowed to be. So they have to run around and hide in secret. And she has assassins after her that her brothers have sent. So she had to change her name to go on land, and people can't know she's a mermaid even. They can't know anything about her. So she has to go by the name of Gemma the whole time she's there. Even the family doesn't know her real name. No
Okay.
one knows
Oh,
her
wow.
name except for her personal guard. He
Yeah.
comes and checks in on her every month. And so he knows. He knows who she is. He knows everything about her. It's a good way of keeping her grounded, is having him there,
Yeah.
because he knows exactly who she is. And the family finds out very quickly that she's Poseidon's daughter. They do not know her name, but they know she's Poseidon's daughter. And she's very much trying not to be, like, overbearing of, I'm royal, this is my thing, but sometimes she has to get things the way she wants it, like to be able to sword fight. She has to push this, like, I am directly ordering you to allow this.
Yeah.
She has to decide if she's going to stick with her father's plan of where she has to marry this pirate, or she's going to run away with Kelly.
Yeah.
And she has to go through some deadly trials that some of her siblings have passed away from,
Oh, wow. Okay.
to get her full powers. And so Kelly's there for that. And Kelly's little sister is there for that. Like, the two of them are there and have to make sure she survives it, and also make sure they don't die.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so it's a lot of stuff that they go through.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
it
lot of
sounds like it.
turmoil.
Who is sort of the reader you have in mind as you were writing this story?
Pretty much anyone that likes mermaids and pirates. Like, if you like Once Upon a Time, if you like Pirates of the Caribbean, you'll love this. Like, it's kind of a mashup of those, and I get a lot of inspiration from certain things from those shows and movies.
What was the original spark for this story? Because it's been a long time in the making. So
Yeah.
can you remember that far
Oh,
back?
I know exactly what
Okay.
it is. It was one of the last chapters of the second book, and I can't give away anything
Okay,
about
no
it.
spoilers.
Just because it's the second book. I can still remember exactly how that scene went in my head, but it did not come out that way when I actually wrote it. A lot of it has changed, like, characters' ages have changed, different character dynamics have changed, and it just kind of expanded. I'm like, I need to cut this in half, and then expanded. I need to cut this again.
What made Aquaria an exciting character for you to write?
So I joke around that she's my alter ego. I can release a lot of personal tension, personal feelings, things that I want to say, things I want to do. I can get through with her. I
Yeah.
can use her for those things, because that's how I am. That's how I would like to be, how I see myself, but not how I present myself a lot of times.
Yeah. I think,
And plus, who wouldn't want to be a mermaid?
right. Anybody who writes, I think at some point comes across that character, who has to be their other self that they can't necessarily present in real life. I think we kind of have covered a lot, but what kind of tension sits, like, most at the middle of this book? Is
Probably
it
the arranged marriage. She has to decide if she wants to go through with the arranged marriage or if she wants to run away. No one in the town knows that she is part of this arranged marriage. Like, a lot of different boys in town are trying to get her attention, and she's like, I can't. Go away, leave me alone. You see that, and there's, like, a scene in particular, like, she is telling them, I want nothing to do with you, please leave me alone. And one of them is very relentless and will not take no for an answer. that's a big tension, is this arranged marriage, because Kelly wants to be with her. She wants to be with Kelly, but she's stuck in this arranged marriage. He's also being sent to a pirate ship once he turns 19. So the
Yeah.
two of them have no choice in their world. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
heartbreaking that they have to go through that, but
Yeah.
that's the story.
What makes the relationship between the two of them work so well?
I would say that they complement each other. She's very fiery, short tempered. If she gets angry at something, she will just like explode.
Mhm.
And one of the features about her that is really special, she has like highlights in her hair, and the highlights turn red if she gets angry.
Okay.
And sometimes will burst into flames if she gets really angry.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
her emotions are a big part of her, and everyone can see what her emotions are. If they see her highlights, they know what's going on. They know how she's feeling. They know what she's feeling and why she's feeling this way. And they try to de-escalate everything. Kelly, on the other hand, he will take beatings from people. He will take any type of hit someone throws at him, and he just internalizes everything. And so she's the one that he can release like a lot of his feelings to and break down and be okay with. And he knows that she's okay with it, because her biggest thing is she hates lies and she hates secrets, because her family has been lying to her whole life and hiding things from her whole life. And so they both know that she can't handle that type of relationship with people that are going to be lying to her all the time. And so he is 100% honest with her, and she's 100% honest with him all the time.
And that has to be huge, like having your emotions so visible.
Yeah. She can put on a blank face and just act like everything's fine, but really you can see like her hair change color. Like if it's blue, she's depressed and sad and something's wrong. If it's red, she's angry. A lot of times they like try to hide her hair colors by pulling it back or putting a hat on her.
Wow, that's such a cool dynamic. I don't think I've ever read anything like that before. So what do you think the sort of like the emotional promise of this book is for readers?
You'll have a roller coaster. You'll have ups, you'll have downs. You will feel that love between Aquarian and Kelly, but you also feel the tension that they're going to be going through with, is she going to survive these trials? Is she going to run away with him? You have to go through with all these emotions throughout it, and it's up and down the whole time.
Sounds like we're going to kind of be like on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, even at the end. Because like I said before, it ends on a cliffhanger. So you're not going to be happy with how it ends.
But we don't have long to wait. How did you craft the balance between fantasy and romance in this story?
So that was really interesting. So I kind of kept it where they're in our world. So I didn't have to rebuild an entire world.
Yeah.
So that took away a lot of the world building, because we are in this world. So it's set in the 1920s. And so at points you'll hear like the word carriage, you'll hear the word car, because some people have carriages, some people have cars. So you never know. There are telephones, because back then there were telephones. And so it's a lot of all of the world around us. So I didn't have to rebuild that, because it is set in that time period. Religions and stuff are different in this world. Like it focuses more on Greek mythology and stuff like that. You know, had to have Poseidon in there, so had to have some of the other Greek gods in there too, like Hades and Persephone make an appearance as well.
Okay.
And so you see other characters, you see other things happening. It made it easier having all that already built to be able to add the romance to it.
With the mention of some of the other Greek gods there, is that something where it's sort of all your version of them?
Yes.
So it's we're not talking about like we're gonna have to have a history lesson for this.
You do
like,
not need a history lesson. It is my version of
your version of this. Okay,
so
very cool.
It's very different. Like if you've ever read Lore Olympus, you'll see like Persephone and Hades, you'll see their relationship. It's kind of like that. You'll hear things like, oh, well, in the underworld, like Aquaria's mom, she's down there, she has her own apartment type of thing. Like things like that. Like it's very different.
Was there any particular like trope or element you were especially excited to play with in this story?
The soulmate element. Because one, I'm addicted to that element. Like I love it. But also because I wanted it to be something where no matter how much they're being pulled apart, they always bounce back together. That's a big thing, because that's how soulmates are. You can be pulled completely far apart, but you will always come back to one another. You will always find that person. You will always find that place that you call home.
So since this is book one, what has felt kind of most important to establish here?
Their relationship, for one.
Yeah.
Her feelings towards this Accord, because one, he's being sent away. He's not going to be there forever. The only way he gets out of being a pirate is when his father's contract with her father is over.
Yeah.
And that ends when she gets married. They're both being forced into things they really want nothing to do with.
Yeah. Was there anything about this one that surprised you as you were writing it? Like something unexpected that came up?
I think Kelly having magic.
Okay.
Because only mer people and the gods have magic, and Kelly's human.
Okay.
So that adds a little bit of mystery to him.
Yeah, some question marks there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it made his character a little more mysterious and makes you ask questions like, well, if only those people have it, is he part mermaid? Is he a merman? Is there something going on that we don't know about? You do find out like what's going on, but it is something that I wasn't originally planning for the story, but it just kind of happened.
Was there anything specific that sort of opened that up for you?
Well, it was something that I kind of added into the scenes. He can have lightning bouncing between his fingers, along his hands, and going fully up his arms and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
When he's angry, it turns red.
Okay.
But like at some point he's holding a sword, he's very stressed out. You see that he's driving the sword into the ground and the lightning is going down his hand onto the sword into the ground.
Oh, cool.
And so no one really knows about it except for him, his mother, and Aquaria.
I want to zoom out just a little bit, like from the individual books. Are there any parts of the actual writing process that still feel like just totally mysterious to you?
Marketing. I even have a degree in advertising and I am still struggling.
So all of us who feel that struggle, it's real.
It's real. If I was doing marketing for someone else, it's completely different, but I'm marketing myself. I'm marketing my work, things I put my heart and soul into. And I'll put my heart and soul into work for someone else. Like I will do the work, do everything I need to, but I'm not solely invested because it is my heart and soul that I've put into this. Whereas with my writing, it's really something that I've put my heart and soul into for so long that I don't want to lose that. And that's why I've started doing the publishing because I'm like, okay, I want to actually put this out there.
Is there anything you think readers sort of like misunderstand about like what goes into writing a book?
Most people don't think like you have to market, and I've been talking to my sister-in-law about this.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, I thought you would have had no problems with that. I'm like, I thought so too. Apparently, I'm very scared to put my own stuff out there and put my heart and soul out there for other people to read.
And I think that's a really great point. We kind of live at the mercy of the internet, at the mercy of social media and reviews. Are there any questions you wish people asked more often about your work?
Just anything about my work. Most people don't even realize that I write. I'd like for people to ask me about it, ask me, how's it going? Is it done yet? When's the next one coming out? Things like that. But I don't get those types of questions.
Well, you know what? Hopefully the release of this book will change some of that. Do your books reveal anything about you that you maybe didn't already understand about yourself?
Probably that I'm more soft-hearted than I thought I was. I'm more blunt, but I feel like these stories really push the boundary of me being more soft-hearted, more caring, more emotional that people normally see from me.
Yeah. So it really is just beyond the hours of energy and emotion you've poured into your pages. There is like an extra emotional element of you kind of laying yourself bare there on the page that people may not expect from you.
Definitely.
Wow. And that can be so scary. It's a very vulnerable place to be, writing wise. Yeah. But it's so brave to put your stuff out there. And I'm glad that you are. The world needs more stories and they need to hear like real life love stories, which is really cool that you're bringing some more of that into light. I do want to do like a rapid fire round. So I can't let you leave with your dignity completely intact. So just a couple of super fast questions for you. Number one, if you could pick only one, would it be second chance romance or forced proximity?
Second chance.
Is there any one trope that you would absolutely defend like forever?
Soulmates.
What one trope are you kind of over at this point?
Don't know the name of the trope, but it's the one where it's like, here's a girl and she's in love with this guy, but then there's this other girl that's like making her look bad. I'm not a fan of love triangles.
Can I tell you, I wrote one and I struggled the entire time. I really wanted to write it. It was Thorn, M, and Asher. I wanted to write it. And the whole time I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Okay. Physical book, ebook, or audiobook?
I'd say ebook for one reason only.
Okay.
And that is because I read it while I'm in bed, if my husband's asleep and the dogs are asleep next to me.
Which of your characters would have the most trouble ordering a martini here at the Tini Martini?
They're under 21.
So they would have no idea what they wanted.
They have no idea what to do. I think the one that would have the easiest time would be Aquaria, because she later on in the second book becomes a bartender. So
Okay.
I think she would have the easiest time.
Okay, so I guess that kind of goes into my next rapid fire question, which is which of your characters would thrive most in this bar?
It'd be her.
If you could only listen to one song on repeat for the next month, what would it be?
Evangeline by Stephen Sanchez. So good.
And what do you do when you're not reading or writing?
Take care of the dogs. And I'm a graphic designer, so I do a lot of graphic design work,
Awesome.
design t-shirts for people, things like that.
Are you gonna have any merch for your stuff?
Eventually, yeah. I haven't
Okay.
I'm still working on designing it.
What do you hope readers take away from your work?
I hope they take away feelings of happiness and love and really get into their emotions and realize it's okay to feel these emotions as long as you take care of them properly and get through them right.
What do you hope that they'll feel after they finish one of your books? And I know the cliffhangers, so they might feel mad at you, but
I really hope from Pop Stars that they feel satisfied and happy with how it ends. I've had people tell me already, where's the second book? They might have to wait on that one. But with Gem of the Sea, no, I really hope that they're like, I want to be part of this. I want to see more of this, see what happens.
So if someone is brand new to your work, where should they start?
Gem of the Sea.
So definitely,
if they're going with Pop Stars, they should be in high school, college age.
So definitely aware of the new adult kind of vibe there. Okay. And the big one, where can people find you and your books?
Pop Stars in the Backyard is only on Amazon and Kindle.
Okay.
But Gem of the Sea is on Amazon. It's on Kindle. It's on Quill and Courier. It's on Ingram Sparks. It's on, it's going to be in a few different local bookstores, and there's also going to be one in West Virginia that's putting it up in there, so that'll be great.
Do you want to plug your website as well?
ja-johnson.com.
Thank you so much again for being here. It has been so much fun to do this. J.A. Johnson is the author of Pop Stars in the Backyard, available now on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited, and Gem of the Sea, which is coming out on Friday, March 27th, 2026. So you can find her through the links that'll be in our show notes. Thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you next time. Do you want to join me for the outro? Cheers and happy reading. Bye.
Bye.